YouTube viewers, what's going on? Best Man 10 here. Going over my first deck profile, Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, Magicians. I have a few texts that I want to go over with you guys covering with this new upcoming format. Um, it's a scary format, guys. Wavering Eyes out there, Pepe dominating YCS. I mean, it's getting serious. So, um, I'm going to go over my build with you. This build, I have managed to beat some Pepe decks, post Bosch, um, mostly by going second and stomping on them. But let me just go over this with you and try to explain what's going on. 3 Odd Eyes. You have to have 3 Odd Eyes Pendulum. Pop this card to grab other pendulums that you need. It's a 2500 beater, does double the damage. This card is a big reason why I won game 3 with Pepe. Pop this card out, and it's just very good. You have to rock 3 Wisdom Eye. 3 Wisdom Eye for rank 4 power. Of course, Wisdom Eye effect to pop itself and scale another magician. It's not a once per turn effect, so if you have both, you can get both scales replaced and then rependulum. It's a rank 4 powerhouse. You have to have 3 Skullcrabat. Skullcrabat searches out your Odd Eyes Pendulum if you're not getting it, or any magician that you need. It's an 1800 beater and it's an 8 scale. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except magicians and Odd Eyes monsters, so that effect's pretty important. So don't be trying to scale anything, pendulum summon anything else. I run 3 Oath Dragon. People underestimate this card. This card recycles. Most of the time I'm pendulum summoning this, so I'm recycling a lot with it because I'm trying to overlay for 2 level 6s. So I run 5 level 6s on here for Naruto. Naruto is a powerhouse. Naruto plus Odd Eyes Vortex. Your opponent's kind of just sitting there. 1-of Dragon Pulse. Rank 4 is serious, but it's not my biggest play. I run Dragon Pulse. I can recycle it. I haven't had many times where I've needed to get that other one because I have other lower scales. Its effect's convenient, but I have other destruction methods. So 1-of's fine, and then Yangjing Magician. Another card people underestimate. Its effect to take another monster's attack is pretty convenient if you're trying to beat over monsters. It doesn't do any damage, but that effect's really key, and then it also helps you set up for other rank plays if you're trying to rank something else that isn't consistent with this deck. It'll help you set up for that. So 2 Noble Dragon Magician is a must. 1 is too little, 3 is a little overcrowded. Some people run 3 if you're magician heavy, but 2 Noble Dragon Magician, you want this card in your hand or in the graveyard. It can special summon itself and reduce the level of an Odd Eyes by 3, setting up for level 7 synchro. So it's very powerful, and if you sync with another monster that isn't an Odd Eyes, it goes to the bottom of the deck, so be careful what you're syncing with. 2 Zanki. I run 2 because it's a 2500 beater, and like I said, beating is the way to get over Pepe. You clear the board and beat on him. You go for the OTK. Have to go for the OTK. So I set up very heavy when I'm facing Pepe. It can backfire, and it has backfired sometimes, but you want to beat Pepe this format, get this deck, go strong. And also its effect against Cosmo. This deck really beats up on Cosmo. I find a lot of Cosmo players are dropping out. 2 Magic Spectre Unicorn, level 6. These are my other 2 level 6 spellcasters. I've won duel with this card. So I'm pendulum summon them both by using 1 effect to bounce the only monster my opponent controls and swing with both. I mean, it's very, very powerful, and of course it can't be destroyed or targeted by opponent's card effects once per turn. 2 Dragon Pit. I can recycle this card. I find 3 too cloggy because I have way too many level 7s, and it drops my. I find myself with a level 7, 6, and a level 4 in my hand, and I don't like that. I like having level 7s or level 6s, or being able to search for whatever I need. Dragon Pit's effects, of course, is broken, but with Oath Dragon at 3, I can recycle this card pretty well. So Dragon Pit at 2. 2 Dark Magicians. 2 Dark Magicians is coming. It's going to be strong in your play against Pepe because, like I said, beating. You open up with one of this, make a level rank 7, and summon Ebon, special summon the other one from the deck, and then you usually can set up for another rank 7 play, bring out a Big Eye, and if you're going turn 2, you Big Eye, you have Ebon, a Dark Magician, and your opponent's monster ready for an attack. Most of the time when you're facing Pepe, I know, guys, it's going to be more than one monster, but if you can, you know what I'm saying, you clear and board, and you have all this strong power, and if you can set up to protect yourself for another turn against Pepe, I mean, you're gonna win. So double Dark Magician. If you find that you need to run 3 Dragon Pit and 1 Dark Magician, that is fine, but this makes the Ebon play stronger. 2 Tuning Magician. This card is very good with the Twin Twister coming out with this new format. I don't like discarding that much in this deck. That's why I only run 2 Dragon Pit as well. If you find yourself you need to discard pitching, this card is fine because you can use its effect from the graveyard to special summon. If you have 2 Scale Magician cards, or it can special summon itself from the hand. It's a tuning, level 1, sets up great for your Synchro 8 or 7 or 9 plays for people that like to run your Trish. Igniter is alive in this deck and very, very alive. Just stuff like that. And my last normal monster is Damage Drug. I run 2 Damage Drugs at the moment because I find I'm negating spells and traps more. So Wavering Eyes, if I'm not negating it, I'm usually damage juggling it, which is very great. And then this card's going to stop you from being OTK'd. I don't have any hat triggers or anything. Honestly, the Banish to Search, I mean, that's great, but I don't have room for it in this deck. There might be a couple cards I might take out, put a couple hat triggers, a hat trigger and a damage drug. Maybe. I mean, that engine's great, but I have enough level 4 to rank 4 power in this deck that if I'm finding that it's not being consistent enough, I might jump up to rank 4 power a little bit. But you'll see in my extra deck that it's not needed as much. 1 Trap, Solemn. I'm probably going to throw a Torrential in here because everyone likes wiping the board. Like I said, if you can wipe your opponent's board and go second with this deck, you're going to win most of the time. So Torrential is going to be thrown in here, most likely. Set up with the Field Power spell play, 2 Sky Ibis, and 1 Terraforming, and 1 Chicken Game. Field Darkness is dead. No one likes discarding their cards. As much as this deck is consistent enough with your searching, Chicken Game is there for you if your opponent stops your searching somehow, because Dollenbird's a thing. People will put Mistake on you, and no one talks about it. Mistake is serious, so watch out. And then we get into the most broken card in this format today, Wavering Eyes. Watch out for it. 3 Pendulum Call. 2's too little, even though I might knock this down to 1 because of the new Enlightenment Paladin. He can recycle magics from your graveyard, so running 2 Pendulum Call is probably the best way to go if you get Enlightenment. And then, same concept, I run 2 Odd Eyes Fusions. You need 2 Odd Eyes Fusions, guys, because this deck stays consistent with it. You're going to find yourselves in heaps where when you do have a backfire, hopefully you have this card to bring out your plays. 2 Odd Eyes Fusions, it's a very good card. Try to get your second one if you don't have it. Let's get into extra deck. 2 Vortex. This card is very good in this format. There's a lot of, this card will stop regular Face Off. This card is very good in Stop Twin Twister, stuff like that. So Vortex is a thing. Odd Eyes Rebellion. Odd Eyes Rebellion is Cosmo Crusher. Crushes a lot, honestly. This card is very good, and Zinky Magician will help you summon it. Ebon, my baby. This card has won me against Pepe, and ever since, this card has really become one of my favorite plays to go into. Metal Flare, also a card that I will beat Pepe with. They have to form a lot of plays. If you drop their field and get them down to about under 3,000, you can usually win with Metal Flare on the field. 2 Absolute, have to run 2. This card is so necessary at 2 for this deck because if it's sent to the graveyard, it special summons an eyes from the graveyard, and a lot of times you're going to run into 2 if you're getting into those heavy and longer duels. 1 Naruto plus Odd Eyes Vortex on the field. If you don't have a face up, then you at least you'll have a detachment, so you're stopping your opponent for a lot of plays on Magic and Spell Trap game. Super good against Pendulum. Kergorn. Kergorgon is very good in facing your Odd Eyes matchup. So the mirror matchup, Kergorn, any deck that's running Magicians, you're going to want to have Kergorn because they do a lot of targeting, one card targeting. Arc, because Arc's a thing. I'm getting Big Eye, don't worry. I know you guys are panicking, you don't see it. I'm getting Big Eye, don't worry. Castel for the 4 power. That's my only 4 power, guys. That's all I need. These 3 right here. Abyss Dweller is probably going to be side deck material. BA is still a thing, so we'll have to watch out for that. And then 2 Meteor Bursts. Let's see, Black Rose Moonlight might get swapped in here for that because, once again, facing Cosmo, facing Magicians, Moonlight's gonna stop them from special summoning, bounce one, but it's only a once per turn effect. But if you can first turn Moonlight against Cosmo, you're in pretty good shape. Enlightenment Paladin, like I said, he's the recyclable. You can recycle 1 spell card from your graveyard when you special summon. Also, he's a very good destructive card. I'm very excited to really get into testing him more, especially with this beating death. This deck already beats very well. I was a huge Infernoid player, so I really love this deck's beating capability in Igniter. Being able to blow up your opponent, scales, or pop monster, 2 monsters on the field, while pop and bounce a monster, Igniter saves the day. He's my savior card. Quick layout through the side deck. One of the major texts that I really want to explain, that's why I'm making this profile, is because of the new format. There's a lot of spell and trap negation going on, especially if you're doing in the mirror match. This card you're going to want to swap in for your fusions. This card's fusion, unless your opponent's stepping up for the effect negation, this card's going to help you fuse without, not to mention its pendulum effect is when a fusion monster is special summoned to your side of the field, you can special summon a face up extra deck Odd Eyes monster, so that card's really broken. 3 MSTs and 2 Twin Twisters. With this right here, I'll switch my whole game up, throw off my opponent completely, especially when I throw in Rajiki. I mean, throw off my opponent's play completely, and this right here is what made me beat Pepe. So, oh, sorry, and I added 2 maxis, but altogether I had 3 maxis, 2 Imperial Iron Wall, 1 Dark Magician attack, because that card's awesome, destroys all spell and trap cards if you control Dark Magician, and creature swaps are probably going to be swapped out for, these 2 will probably be swapped out for Bird, because Pepe is just too powerful, and I am coming up with more ways to stop at this format because it is the powerhouse. Thank you guys for paying attention to this deck profile. Please let me know all feedback on how you think I did, and I appreciate it. And make sure you stay tuned for more profiles in the future. Thanks a lot, guys. Odd Eyes Pendulums out.